Good afternoon. I hope that you all had a lovely weekend. You're watching Inside Business with me, Maya Hayakawa, the show that keeps you up to date with all things business. Now we have Chris Foot in the house. He's the chairman of Kenya Film Commission. We'll be having a discussion with him later on. Also, we'll be having a discussion on management of pension schemes, that later on in our show. But for now, our top story in business. Now, the Cabinet Secretary for the Ministry of Energy, Honorable Charles Keter, is this afternoon commissioning the new 220 kilovolt city center gas insulated substation right behind railways. This is happening right now. Let's have a quick listen in.
Serving the industrial area directly, because we are actually, where we are is part of the industrial area. So I look forward to a very satisfactory service in terms of the quality of power, reliability of power within the CBD and also within the industrial area. Indeed, considering that manufacturing is one of the big four, this substation has come at a very opportune time. And for us as Kenyans, it's a big celebration because this is indeed a first in the region, a first in the East African region. And remember, the current access rate, the escalating access rate of electrification in this country is again a first within the region. So I think we are scoring first in very many aspects. In the aspect of access of electricity, which is now over 70% within the region, and then having a 220 kilovolts supply within the city center and the industrial area. Again, it's a first. Having a GIS, gas insulated substation, which is a very modern technology and which will contribute very significantly to reliability of power supply, is again a first in this region. And I want to commend the team of Kenya Power. I want to commend the TBA, the contractor of this particular substation, for doing a job that makes us score fast within this region. So as I conclude, I want to assure the industrialists who are present here and who are going to be the main beneficiaries of this particular power supply. Reliability helps both the industries and also Kenya Power. I am sure those industrialists who are here will confirm or testify to the fact that when they have to run generators as an alternative source of supply, it is very expensive for them. For Kenya Power, is a loss of opportunity because they will not be able to sell as many units as they would normally sell. So when we enhance the reliability, we benefit both the supplier and also we benefit the customer. And for the supplier, it will be possible to sell more units, therefore distribute the fixed cost to more units and even reduce the tariff.
Those are live pictures that are coming in from railways, and we do expect CS Charles Keter to attend the event, and so we'll be giving you more details as they develop throughout the day. In other stories making headlines, this year's China Trade Week will take place at the Kenya International Conference Center, KICC, in Nairobi. The conference will be in two phases. Phase 1 will take place from 13th to 15th June and will involve industries in building material, lighting, and textile, among others, while Phase 2, which runs from 18th to 20th June, will involve industries in consumer goods, automobile, agriculture, and more. The conference aims to boost commercial cooperation and connectivity between countries, and this year the conference hopes to address the notion that China only produces poor quality goods. Over 500 Chinese companies are expected to attend.
The reason that we've had to make this into 2 phases is because we've outgrown the venue at KICC, so we've split it up. So we're using the whole of the indoor space, and we also have tents out in the courtyard to try and accommodate all the exhibitors, because we have too many who are excited to come to Kenya. We are looking for professional buyers, manufacturers, import-export companies, distributors, anyone who would like to start a trade relation with high-end Chinese manufacturers. At the moment, if people want high-quality products and they're looking to America, they're looking to Europe, but when they have low budget, they look to China, which is, it's just trying to switch the mentality of the people who are wanting the product.
Now, a war of words has been raging between 2 state agencies charged with the overall mandate of overseeing the film industry in Kenya, just days after the Ezekiel Mutua-led Kenya Film Classification Board made a public announcement on its intention to introduce regulations requiring content producers filming videos for public consumption to get requisite licenses from the 28th of this month. The Kenya Film Commission has once again called out KFCB for what it terms an act of regulatory overreach. KFS chairperson Chris Foot, who's actually in studio right now with us, stated that KFCB has no legal mandate in as far as licensing is concerned. A statement KFCB played down, saying the commission had in fact failed on its core mandate and was staging diversionary tactics. Sarah Adam with this report.
The simmering supremacy battle between the 2 state agencies has seen Kenyans treated to some sort of drama at a time creative art in video production is in desperate need of leadership. For instance, the Kenya Film Commission cited the recent banning of a Kenyan production, Rafiki, on account of obscenity as an act of KFCB overstepping its mandate.
There is no law that allows you to ban a movie after it has been issued a license and filmed in line with the laws of the country. And if your premise for banning a movie is the subject matter, then you're on very sticky ground.
If mentioning homosexuality in a film is wrong, it means we can't mention murder or we can't do films about robbery and stuff like that. You can, provided you do not endorse murder or robbery. That is the common sense we apply.
The Kenya Film Commission further claims higher licenses are making filmmakers shy away from the country and opt for other countries.
And there I am trying to woo international filmmakers to come and spend millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars in Kenya. And the first question they ask me is the licensing situation in Kenya.
And as pressure mounts on KFCB to justify what legal mandate it carries, the latter has had to retract, claiming it was quoted out of context.
We do not license vloggers or people who are uploading on YouTube. That's the position of the board. And we do not even have the legislative framework or the legal framework to do that.
KFCB had earlier posted on their website anyone intending to publish any video online will require to pay an annual registration fee of 12,000 Kenyan shillings, 5,000 for every video produced as long as it's under 40 minutes, 1,000 for every day you take shooting the video. The Kenya Film Commission and KFCB seem to be at loggerheads, as the 2 bodies seem not to agree on certain things. Kenya Film Commission is blaming KFCB of overstepping its mandate by coming up with new licenses, hence crippling the film industry. Sarah Adam, K24, Nairobi.
That, of course, is a report that was filed by Sarah Adams earlier. Now, joining me in studio right now is Chris Foot, who is the chairman of Kenya Film Commission. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Of course, there were lots of exchange of words between KFCB and yourself, so we want to get an opportunity for you to clear up a few things. My colleague Zawadi Mudibo actually had an interview with Mutua. Let's just have a listen in at what he had to say.
All the stakeholders, being the filmmakers themselves, the commission itself that has come out to criticize what you're doing, and
Can we deal
many
with
other
issues,
producers.
Zawadi? First of all, the commission cannot tell me what to do. They have their own job. They should do their own job. As a matter of fact, some of the problems that we are being accused of, they're not our problems. People are saying movies are going to South Africa, there's no film policy, there's no film fund. That's the core mandate of KFC. They're the ones who develop and promote films. That's their core mandate. Our core mandate is to issue licenses, classify, examine and classify films, and promote suitability of content so that the customer, the consumer, we deal with the consumer, to regulate content at 5 levels, at the creation, distribution, broadcasting, exhibition, and possession. And we are doing our job. In that, I don't think you can accuse us, because when there was a kiss condom that you were even running, we engaged you, and we did not arrest you. Did you hear any media house that was arrested? No, let's get to the facts. So we engaged in the customers. We did a survey and established that there are illegal filming activities in Kenya, okay? We arrested some people in Malindi who were filming pornography. Our girls, young girls, lured with little money by foreigners to have sex with dogs. You saw them on TV. We did a survey, established there are so many of that kind. People are filming hotels, people are filming in our beaches, people are filming government buildings, people are filming churches, and they could be, a threat to national security. The only way we can help the police to arrest the bad people is by ensuring that the good ones have a license. So we ran an advert to remind them.
All right. Well, Chris, Mr. Mutua says that the commission cannot tell me what to do. What is your reaction to this?
I think, I don't want to be drawn too much on that. I don't think anyone seems to be able to tell him what to do. At the stage we're at the moment, the law is very clear. I'm a stickler for following the law. The law and the Constitution are very clear as to our mandates and what we can and can't do. And our role as the Kenya Film Commission is to create an enabling environment for the audiovisual industry in this country and to build it up and to make the ease of business for our filmmakers, our TV guys, your producers, your directors to do business. And so whenever there's an impediment, we will stand up and we will fight that, because it really does not help people. The issue also in terms of the banning of movies, that is something that I'm afraid they do not have the right to do under the law. So under the freedom of expression set out in the Constitution, we will support that. So I don't want to get involved in diversionary conversations, but our mandate is very clear, their mandate is very clear.
I'm sure you're referring to the film Rafiki, which was banned by KFCB. When you found out that they had actually banned this film, which has been quite successful globally, what was your initial reaction?
Well, I think we have to put it in context. Rafiki was a movie which was filmed in Kenya by Kenyans. It was the first Kenyan movie to go to Cannes, invited to Cannes. So in terms of its impact for Kenya as a tourist destination, as audiovisual, amazing, stellar. Now, it got banned, and the premise that it was banned was that it had some lesbian scenes in it. Now, in law, there is no basis to do that. You can ban it if it was pornographic, and I'd 100% support them on that. They could ban it if it promoted, and said this is a documentary on lesbianism. I'd support them. However, you cannot ban a story because some of the storyline is inappropriate and doesn't sit well with your conscience. Otherwise, we should ban any movies with murder or with treason or with corruption. We cannot get to a state where we tell people what stories they can tell. And our Constitution is very clear. If you look at the freedoms that we have under freedom of expression, freedoms of artistic creativity, freedoms of conscience, freedoms of opinion, freedoms of the media, that is not negotiable, not even for one person. So I'm afraid on that, they are very much on the wrong side of the Constitution, the wrong side of the law, the wrong side of public opinion, and very much on the wrong side of the stakeholders who we represent.
So last week you sent a press statement out to newsrooms which said that KFC strongly feels that KFCB has become too obsessed with introducing new fees and regulations for all work of art. So what did you mean by this?
Well, I think the bottom line, we didn't actually couch it in those terms, but the bottom line is we have our lanes, let's stick in our lanes. Our lane is very much to build up the film industry and to promote Kenya internationally as a film destination. Their lane under CAP 222 is very clear. It was the old censor role, which has been rebranded as classification. So their role is we create the content with the filmmakers, we create the right environment. At the end of it, they have the power, which we support wholeheartedly, to say whether there should be a 12, an 18, an adult. No problem with that at all. But please stay in your lane and stop trying to undermine what the rest of us are trying to do in terms of building up the industry and creating jobs for the young people, because that is the key thing that we're doing.
Speaking about lanes, he actually had something to say about this in regards to what your mandate is versus what KFCB's mandate is. Let's take a look at a clip of that.
The fact
but no rumors. Let's deal with
the fact that that's why you're here, so that you dispel the rumors.
Yeah.
But the fact that your counterparts are on the other side, the film
Are you
commission,
doing a hatchet job for them? Because you should ask me about my job, not other people. Do you know I will not go on with that narrative?
Let me ask you.
I will not come here to discuss KFC.
You're not discussing
Don't
KFC.
run this,
I'm only asking you
no,
the fact that
I can't waste my time discussing another organization.
Allow me to make my point.
Yes.
There has been those particular assertions that have been made.
Those are rumors. Why do you like rumors?
Do you think
why don't you deal with issues?
There is a press statement to that effect?
Yes.
It's not a rumor. Do you think there is sufficient reason for you to engage with your fellow government agency to try and find an amicable solution? No, I'm asking.
Let me deal with the real issues the way I know them. I'm a journalist, 22 years experience. So let me handle. Those are rumors, and there's a procedure. I've just said there's a procedure. So why would I say it was unprocedural for them to do it, and I come and do it on your TV? Because that's kind of journalism.
You see,
is injurious to national interest.
Dr. Ezekiel, I hear your point, but look at it from a public perspective. They are looking at two different institutions that seem to be talking at each other. And my question is, do you think it is wise for the two of these two institutions? Do you think, we have heard you first, so we will ask them when we meet them.
Yes.
But do you think it will be wise for you going forward to try and engage them at your level to try and dispel the, sort of public confusion?
And I will be very clear, I did not come to K24 to discuss KFC. And I will not discuss them. I will discuss.
That's just a clip earlier on with my colleague Zawadi Mudibo there engaging KFCB CEO Ezekiel Mutua. I want to get your thoughts in terms of the roles of the two bodies and how it actually can complement each other to grow our film industry. But hold on to that thought. I just want to quickly throw it over to Railways, where CS Charles Keter is speaking regarding the launch of a new substation. Take a listen.
Continuous journey. The line all the way from now in Bakassi, the first ever underground line, all the way to where we are today, means that we will be evacuating more geothermal power from the Olkaria-Suswa line, and the regions which you have been told will be served by this substation and the others will really go hand in hand in making sure that there is reliability of power, and that has been the core work of KPLC and the energy sector. So I really want to say thank you so much. We will not, I think Betty and the other speakers have said, we will not rest. There are a lot of things we need to do. The works which are still remaining, the CEO say that there are a few things to be tightened up. You don't have that time. You don't have the time. I want to say that His Excellency the President has graciously agreed that he will commission this on Wednesday. So whatever is remaining must be done between now and Wednesday. There is no sleep. I think the TBR team, KPLC, you'll sleep here. It must work. Engineer Tare, everything must work. My work today was essentially to make sure that is there, we don't want to bring His Excellency the President to a project which is not functioning. At least I'm happy that there are areas which have been mentioned, of all the links, about 7, I was able to check about 1 or 2. And I'm happy that at least this station as it is, it's operational as it is now. What is remaining is about 0.01%. And the civil work will not stop the operationalization of this station. The civil work can continue because it is outside where the station is. But on the technical aspects, whatever is remaining, the team we don't have to waste a lot of time. It will be done officially by His Excellency the President on Wednesday, because this is in line with the Agenda 4. One of the key pillars is manufacturing, and we cannot achieve that without having reliable, stable power. I want to promise the sector, as I end, that in the energy sector, we've listened to you. We keep on listening to you. The cost of power is high when we compare with other jurisdictions, but I want to promise that we are developing a structure together, and it's good we are working together as a team, that with the completion of all these projects now, we can now emphasize how we are going to move, so that at the end of the day, we want to be under the single digit. And I want to promise that that has the timeline we have to work. We don't have leisure. We have to work very well. And I want to promise that definitely, Lay, you will not buy your generator this year. I promise you that, because you will have reliable power. And of course, it is cheaper than the generators. You will not be struggling to get diesel. And we want to eliminate the diesel. I think our core business is to make sure that we provide that reliability of power at an affordable price. So that is my promise. Finally, to the KPLC chair and your team, it's high time that we need to change the approach. And I'm happy that you've launched your strategic plan. We need to implement it. Launching without implementation is useless. We have to see the timelines, and we have to move with speed, because essentially KPLC is an engineering company. But whatever they do goes beyond the engineering. Whatever happens here, there is a lot of work to be done. And I'm really happy that the chair has mentioned that you need to be customer-oriented. Safaricom is an engineer company, but they have moved so much to the customer satisfaction. And that is where we need to move. Gone are the days, things are changing, and I think all our customers before used to be on postpaid.
Those are live pictures that are coming in from railways. Charles Keter there giving a few remarks in terms of the new substation that they're opening right now, as well as a progress report on some of the other projects that they have going on. Now, back to that discussion, I'm still here with Chris Foote, who's the chairman of Kenya Film Commission. Now, right before that, we're talking about the roles of KFC as well as the roles of KFCB, and how the two really complement each other to grow the film industry. It seems that right now there's a lot of exchange of words and a lot of, insults. But then looking at the roles of the two institutions, how can they complement each other to grow the industry?
Well, it is unfortunate, and I hope from our side there's been no insults coming. We haven't personalized it. We never will. We've got very clear mandates. I think we stick to our lanes, and I think we have to remember, and CS Keter is talking about it there, about customer service. Who's our customer? Our customer is the film base, people in audiovisual. We're there for them and not the other way around. So we have to work out. KFC, we have numerous programs we're running. We have workshops we run. We have a resource center. We have the Kalasha Awards. We had the biggest ever film market Kenya's ever seen, East Africa's ever seen last month, the Kalasha market. So we're working on things, and the main thing we're working on at the moment is film incentive. If we get a film incentive package in to benefit our local producers and also the international market, that'll be a game changer. And we can complement each other. I'm all for dialogue, and I would reach out to Mr. Matura and say, listen, let's chat. We can work together. We need to work together. We're actually under the same ministry, and let's work together for the industry. We have very different roles, but they could dovetail very nicely, and I think the industry will be better for it.
Your thoughts on what really needs to be done to be able to grow our industry so that it can be competitive globally?
Well, I think one of the things we are trying to do is align it with the manufacturing pillar. Film is, by film I mean audiovisual, TV, commercials, a whole lot, is an export. And we have a market of 200 million Kiswahili speakers in the region who are looking for content. That should come from Kenya. We have the ability to contribute 3 to 4% of GNP if we get it right. Nigeria employs 1 million people. Tourism, one movie shows the country better than any number of CNN adverts. You just have to look at something like Frozen in Norway. Tourism went up 200% on one movie. So those are the goals we've got to aim for. We've got to create the right environment, and this film incentive, I think for me, if we can get a tax rebate, which we're working on, and produce a 35% tax rebate, like probably another 150 countries out there are doing, we will get people coming in. And when they come in, they bring jobs, they train up our guys get fiscal advantages as well. We're trying to work with banks to see what sort of incentives can we give them to invest in the industry, how can we remove barriers in the industry. So there's a lot we can do, and I think for me the biggest issue now is getting buy-in. We've got buy-in from the president. You know, 2-3 years ago, it's been in the finance bill twice about having incentives. He's there. Now we need to work with Treasury, KRA and the industry and say, right, this incentive, this fiscal package, let's get it off the road, let's have it delivered by the end of this year, because it will transform the industry.
All right, thank you very much for that, Chris Foote, Chairman of Kenya Film Commission, and we'll definitely wait to see what CS Henry Rotich has to say about this in this year's budget. Hopefully he'll have some provisions for the film industry. Well, that takes us to a short break, but don't go away. We still have more in store for you right after this break.